Tonight on CTV News at 6, a plague of tornadoes grows in Alberta.
Way too close for comfort.
More damaging twisters added to the 2026 total.
It was quite large. You could see it kicking up the dirt and the trees and everything else.
Drowning crops prompt rural emergency declarations.
And our producers are hurting. We definitely feel it.
And
it's near impossible.
More downtown businesses take their investments elsewhere, blaming endless construction and lack of city support.
They don't care about us, our businesses, our jobs, our culture, or our community.
Finally seeing bluer sky here in the city, and our temperature has been climbing. We're getting close to 30 degrees, and tomorrow we could top that. I'll have those details, your 5-day forecast, coming up.
Good evening. The Northern Tornadoes Project says there were actually 2 tornadoes that touched down in the Rocky Mountain House area Saturday. That's on top of a tornado that hit near Robb, south of Edson on Friday. As Amanda Anderson reports, the wet weather is likely the reason behind Alberta's most active tornado season in a decade.
It's not like what you see in the movies. It's very, very more real than what a person could imagine. Yeah, it was way too close for comfort.
Justin Evernden captured the tornado touching down about 10 kilometers from where he was working near Robb, Alberta.
It was quite large, and you could see it kicking up the dirt and the trees and everything else from where I was at. So basically, I jumped in my truck and tried to get out of there.
He says it caused significant damage at an oil field site before heading through a valley. 24 hours later, this was in Rocky Mountain House, where not 1, but 2 tornadoes touched down.
It's pretty rare to have what we call twin tornadoes. It's a result of a process known as supercell cycling.
Both given an EF2 rating by the Northern Tornadoes Project. The first tornado that hit the south end of town left a path of destruction about 7.5 kilometers long and 1 kilometer wide. The second, that started nearby and traveled to the Codner area, was 10.6 kilometers long and 600 meters wide.
The first one it's not necessarily an anomaly in our database, but it was incredibly wide, whereas the second tornado was more typical in terms of the length to width ratio there.
At least 50 structures were damaged along both tornado tracks. The Northern Tornadoes Project says our soggy summer is likely behind such an active season.
That moisture is just fuel for thunderstorms. That's creating more thunderstorms and thus more tornadoes.
Alberta has now had 27 tornadoes, 4 more than 2019, the most active season in the past decade. The average is anywhere from 15 to 20. The season and the risk are far from over.
Put as many walls between you and the tornado as possible when you get a tornado warning.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The county of Thorhild has declared a state of agricultural disaster due to flooded farmland. Strathcona County is also dealing with the fallout of relentless rain, asking the province for help with emergency repairs. Nerman Issa reports.
Our community received a record amount of rainfall, a once-in-a-century storm.
Strathcona County is dealing with the fallout from June's record rainfall.
Due to this natural disaster, we had infrastructure that washed out, resulting in roads being submerged for large lengths of time, road closures, lane closures, bridge culvert washouts, road washouts, and near failure of critical infrastructure that cannot be left in its current state.
During Tuesday's council meeting, councillors agreed to ask the province for emergency funding. The county estimates repairs to damaged infrastructure will cost more than $16 million.
Under this program, there are various funding streams that can be accessed, which includes emergency response, private essential and restoration, so that's home and small business, restoring public infrastructure, and relief and recovery efforts.
Another jurisdiction dealing with severe flooding is Thorhild County, northeast of Edmonton. It's declared an agricultural state of emergency.
We had rain after rain, and many producers were not able to get their seeding completed because of the short windows that they had. And since then, certainly localized flooding.
The county's Reeve says while the declaration doesn't come with government funding, it will bring awareness.
Our goal is to have, as council, is to see our county prosper, and a major part of that is our agriculture, right? So for sure, when our producers are hurting, we definitely feel it.
The province says it offers programs for producers, including crop insurance and protections against natural disasters. Nair Misa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Edmonton's downtown bar and restaurant scene is losing some prominent places. Multiple businesses say they're closing for good. Curtis Goodrum caught up with some of the owners to find out why.
Construction, a common sight in downtown Edmonton. One of the reasons the owner of Greta says he's closing his bar.
They need to expedite the projects that are reducing access to the downtown core.
He says while sales are strong at Greta's 3 other Canadian locations, downtown Edmonton is no longer viable for businesses.
Downtown Edmonton, from an investment, from a return, is the single worst out of all of them.
It's near impossible. I think that the reason why we have decided not to continue to re-sign our leases and move forward is because we don't believe in our city supporting us for the next 5 or 10 years.
Chris Harvey used to own a nightclub and restaurant downtown. He believes the culture of downtown could take 20 to 30 years to rebuild.
They don't care about us, our businesses, our jobs, our culture, or our community. And we just have to accept that no matter what they say, they don't actually mean it. They don't want us here.
Another downtown restaurant, Kanzana, says it had to close its restaurants earlier this month due to construction.
This was something that had to close. Maybe in the future we can, bring something back. But at this moment, downtown is not a place anybody wants to be.
Kanzana owners say they can't operate downtown because their restaurant is almost inaccessible.
Is potentially a lawsuit, or are you just kind of exploring that?
It's being considered, yes.
There has certainly been, sort of a perfect storm of construction projects that couldn't be delayed or put off.
O'Damon councillor Ann Stevenson says she has tried to pass motions to give businesses some relief, but it hasn't received enough support from other councillors.
Legislation has consistently reinforced that municipalities aren't liable for the impacts of their construction projects.
These restaurateurs say they need to see change before coming back to the core. Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
A new round of Trump tariffs is looming over discussions of unity, healthcare and affordability on the second day of a meeting of Canada's premiers in Charlottetown. Prince Edward Island's premier says the group supports a strong and united Canada. Doug Ford says Ontario has an everything-on-the-table approach to trade negotiations with the U.S. He wants to see all others do the same. The premiers will meet with Prime Minister Mark Carney tomorrow. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says she remains hopeful the PM can make a deal with Trump before the 28-day deadline.
I think that the Prime Minister has heard from us that we would we want to make sure that we get a good deal that is comprehensive and covers all of those outstanding issues, and I think that I hope that that's what he's working towards.
The premiers also discussed a proposed Eastern oil pipeline to Ontario that Smith and Ford have been promoting. Smith says her priority is still a West Coast pipeline. Edmonton police will soon be able to take intoxicated people off the streets and keep them at a new facility for up to a day to sober up. The 18-bed integrated stabilization center will be inside police headquarters. It's part of a $30 million announcement by the province bolstering addiction services. Jeremy Thompson reports.
Before his announcement, Addictions Minister Rick Wilson toured Chinatown with Edmonton's mayor.
It's tough. It's not a place that you want your kids to be, I'll tell you that for sure. But I think if we work together on this, we're going to make this better.
Wilson says $30 million in provincial money is paying for more than 400 new treatment, housing and stabilization beds in the Edmonton region, including an 18-bed integrated stabilization center inside police headquarters that will open later this summer. Police will have the power under the Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis Act to detain people on drugs or alcohol they believe pose a risk to themselves or the public.
We're going to have our recovery coaches there. There's going to be people from nursing that are going to be there. So these people now will be able to monitor them.
It will be a secure but non-criminal space where people can be held for up to 24 hours.
Once stabilized by Recovery Alberta medical team, the intention of the ISC will be diversion. Diversion away from the justice system, connecting individuals to voluntary treatments, supports that meet their unique needs in that moment.
Provincial health data suggests more than half of Alberta's opioid-related deaths now happen in Edmonton. While the crisis impacts people from all walks of life, the detox facility will likely be for people living on the street who are disproportionately Indigenous.
You're being arrested
and taken to police HQ and put in a room and monitored with a camera until you can sober up?
Well, part of the problem was these people would be left on the street before and possibly die.
The mayor says if the province was only announcing the stabilization centre, he may not have supported it.
We should not look at these in isolation. That is one tool in a host of many tools being announced today. That's what gives me hope.
The province is building what it calls compassionate intervention facilities in Edmonton and Calgary for involuntary addiction treatment, set to open in about 18 months. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
More rain in the forecast. One auto shop is warning drivers about the hazards of water. Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more on the costly damage it can do to your vehicle.
This is what Braden Scherger saw when he was leaving K-Days Saturday night. People stuck on a flooded underpass on the Yellowhead and 82nd Street.
It's pretty deep. I'd say it was at least 4 to 5 feet deep there.
For him, driving through wasn't an option.
You see people trying to go through and you're just, kind of thinking, yeah, it's a little risky for sure.
Optimum Auto Service has been busy dealing with that risk. The auto shop says more than a dozen cars have come in recently with water damage from flooding.
The damage depends on a few factors: the depth of the water, how long the vehicle's been submerged, if the client decides to start the vehicle after it's stalled out on them.
He says starting your vehicle while submerged is the worst thing you can do, as it sucks water into the air intake. No matter the amount, these mechanics say water isn't safe for your car.
You have water contamination that's going to damage the fluids and everything, so there are long-term issues that you will see in the future. Even if you decide to drive it currently and everything's driving good, you might see symptoms down the line.
Pushing your limits will cost you anywhere from $200 to thousands, he says.
If there is extensive electrical damage or hydrolocking where the engine needs to be replaced, that can go anywhere from $5,000, $10,000, $15,000.
To avoid that, the Alberta Motor Association says to think twice before driving into flooded roads.
What do I see? And if I'm not sure, don't go through. Find an alternate route, drive around, rather than I think I can get through, and then you get stuck.
If you see cars ahead of you wading into the water, don't let peer pressure get to you.
It still comes down to don't let other drivers pressure you into something that you're not sure about.
Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
The city of Edmonton is preparing for higher temperatures with its extreme heat weather response. People can get water at various locations, while peace officers will carry water bottles to distribute to those in need. Libraries, pools, and recreation centers are open to anyone just wanting to come in and find some shade. All right, a little less hazy today, Corey, and definitely getting warmer.
Yeah, getting hot out there, Jeff. Temperature approaching 30 as we take a live look right now outside with the CTV drone. That's Horlack Park. There's a concert series there tonight. And we've got, looks like tents being set up for Heritage Days, which is not that far away. And the good thing is the sky is looking a little bit more blue. So the smoke, not completely gone, but it has been lifting. 29, that's where we sit right now. That could be our high for today. We'll see if we do hit 30. At this point, though, again, we are at 29. Average seasonal high, 24. So feeling the heat outside. Winds coming in from the west about 13 kilometers per hour, so keeping some of the smoke out of the region. The westerly or southwesterly winds are the best for this situation where the smoke is in the region. As far as air quality, we're at a 4, which is a moderate health risk. We've seen a big improvement throughout much of the province. A little bit healthier, the air quality, the health risk to the west of us for conditions right now and for tomorrow. For Grand Prairie and Hinton, they should be at a low health risk. As we take a look at our forecast as we go throughout the evening, just a little bit of scattered cloud in the region, mostly clear, 27 by 9. Overnight, our low, 17. Slight risk of fog in the morning. And then tomorrow, mainly sunny, just a little bit of scattered cloud, a high of 30 for tomorrow. So feeling the heat again, and then 31 on Friday. As we take a look at Saturday, 28. Could see some mid and late day storms on Saturday. So at this point, that risk hasn't gone away. It's still there, which could lead to some big storms once again Saturday, mid and late day. So we'll need to keep an eye on that day. Until then, Jeff, hot. I'm going to say hot. We're not used to this these temperatures yet here in the Edmonton area of the summer.
All right. Thank you, Corey. Still ahead, upping the ante in the search for a missing child.
This is an extremely exceptional situation. I cannot recall
a time in the city where a missing child has been missing for this long.
Calgary police now going door to door in the 7th day of their search. Also next.
To have the Prime Minister recognize results like this from Canadian athletes is just good for sport in Canada.
A local triathlete earns attention from the Prime Minister after securing a spot in an international competition.
Brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
On the 7th day of the search for a missing 11-year-old in Calgary, police have now begun going door to door asking for permission to search people's homes.
This is an extremely exceptional situation. I cannot recall a time in the city where a missing child has been missing for this long, which is why we're ramping up our efforts. And in choosing which houses to actually ask for permission to enter, that's based purely on geography. It is that point last known.
Police believe 6 streets in northeast Calgary are crucial at this point in the search. Parker Wells was last seen just before 1 p.m. last Thursday. He is neurodivergent and nonverbal, but police say he may be able to use sinks and fridges to get food and water if he's entered someone's home. People living in the affected areas are asked to continue checking their properties, and if homeowners are on vacation, they're asked to contact police to give them permission to search their homes. Dispatch recordings from Calgary Transit indicate that before a train derailment in that city, a trespasser was spotted on the train.
He derailed. There was a guy attached to the side of the train as he was going by. He wasn't one of the workers, and he looked like he was in a panic mode.
RTC had told us that there was a trespasser on our train. It sounds like there's cars on the ground at the tail end of our train around mile 108.
The Canadian Pacific Railway train became uncoupled last week with rail cars disconnecting from one another. 13 cars carrying lumber, plywood, propane, and argon toppled into a body of water. The audio recordings between Calgary Transit and CPKC officials include multiple sightings of the man on the back of the train. The Transportation Safety Board is investigating and says it cannot discuss details at this time. Parks Canada says more than half of the 374 properties destroyed in the Jasper wildfire are approved or have been rebuilt. Parks Canada released its report into the recovery 2 years since wildfires destroyed parts of Jasper. It gives status updates on dozens of recovery categories. Many of the damaged park facilities have been repaired. Hazards on trails, roadways, and visitor areas have also been cleared. 1,600 front country campsites are open. That's about 80% of what was available before the wildfires. The report also says it's estimated about 2.1 million people visited the park in 2025. That's still below pre-wildfire levels. The City of Edmonton is reminding people wearing a life jacket is more than a suggestion. In many cases, it's the law. Anyone using a boat, floaty, or paddleboard is required to wear a life jacket while on the river in Edmonton. You could receive a $250 ticket if you don't. Data from the Alberta Life-Saving Society shows since 2015, an average 44 people have drowned every year in Alberta. 70% of those deaths happen in lakes or rivers. The Society is reminding people many bodies of water are deeper than usual because of the amount of rain the province has received this summer. The Society says you should never swim alone.
100% of drowning deaths in children under 5 years old in Alberta are due to distracted supervision or lack of supervision. So we really recommend that you're watching your children closely and you're keeping them with you within arm's reach at all times.
The third week of July is National Drowning Prevention Week because that's usually when the most drownings occur in Canada. One of Alberta's most accomplished triathletes is celebrating a milestone victory. Paula Findlay won her first full-distance Ironman race, finishing in 8 hours, 47 minutes. She finished almost 4 minutes ahead of second place. The Ironman is an almost 4-kilometer swim, 180-kilometer bike, and marathon. This race is Findlay's first ever attempt at the full distance. Prime Minister Mark Carney congratulated her on social media, calling the performance an inspiration for Canadians.
Have the Prime Minister recognize results like this from Canadian athletes is just good for sport in Canada. And I'm super proud that, he was able to notice that I did it and then, bring some attention to it. Winning it is just crazy. It's gotten more attention than I ever thought it would. I think people have followed my career, or a lot of people have followed my career for the last 20 years, and to still be having like results at this level on this stage is like kind of mind-blowing for a lot of people, and me included.
The win secures Finley a spot in the Ironman World Championship in Hawaii this October. Still ahead, the healing power of art.
It can shorten their stay in hospitals, it can lower blood pressure, and it can lower their cortisol level.
The University of Alberta creates a special collection at its gallery to celebrate decades of inspirational artwork.
It carried me for about 10 years. I made it into posters, I made it the background of my phone.
Finally seeing some clear blue sky. We could see it there with the CTV drone as we fly over Horlock Park looking towards the university as well as downtown. A nice look at the city, which is heated up. We will continue to see the heat stick around for a few days, which possibly could lead to some thunderstorms Saturday. I will break that down after break.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Doctors, patients, and artists are celebrating 40 years of art at the University of Alberta Hospital. The milestone is being marked with a new exhibition at the McMullen Gallery called While We Wait and Heal. Noah Rashog reports.
And what a difference the art can make.
At the University of Alberta Hospital, art is healing more than just the soul. The McMullen Art Gallery is celebrating an anniversary with a new exhibition.
We're celebrating a huge milestone at McMullen Gallery. It's the 40th anniversary of the gallery and also of the hospital's art collection.
The theme of the collection is, of the exhibition is the community that helped build the collection over the last 40 years, as well as the diversity of the collection.
The exhibition is a celebration of art. Each piece is the personal favorite of one of the donors, staff, or friends of the University Hospital Foundation's program that oversees the collection. Over those 40 years, the art has had an impact on patients like Pamela Krienkum, who recalls a breakthrough moment in the gallery.
A piece that said, love yourself intensely, immensely, indefinitely, and for some reason that really stuck with me, and that actually carried me for about 10 years. I made it into posters, I made it the background of my phone.
The art is more than just something pretty for patients to look at. Studies show that having art in a hospital actually has a physiological effect on a patient's well-being.
It can shorten their stay in hospitals, it can lower blood pressure, and it can lower their cortisol level.
Dr. Aronik is an acclaimed neurosurgeon. One of his wards is decorated with clinical precision. He hopes to put his patients and staff at ease in a stressful setting.
All the hospitals that I had ever been involved with, and many that I'm still involved with, are very clinical. White walls and that antiseptic smell. So this was a departure.
Whether it's lowering stress levels or lifting spirits, 40 years of the art program at the hospital is a reminder that healing comes in many forms. Noah Rashog, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, I have to apologize. I was ready to talk about the heat, the sunshine, the haze lifting out there, but here's Corey with some updated rain stats.
Yeah, a few people asked me about that today, and we've got the updated rainfall amounts from yesterday morning, and taking us above 200 millimeters for July. We have 9 days left in the month. Saturday, we could add a little bit more rain to it. Average rainfall, again, is 83. We probably won't take a look at these totals for a couple more days after this. As we take a look at the total for 2026 so far, 604 millimeters. For June up until yesterday, 482. So the majority of rain and moisture falling through June and July. And as we look outside right now, there is some bluer sky, some clearer sky, which is fantastic. The haze lifting a little bit here in Edmonton. I just looked at the most recent update, and we're sitting at a 3, so a low health risk right now. So it has improved. Not completely gone, the smoke, but it is a little bit better. 29 right now. West winds 13 kilometers per hour. Some of the west wind has helped keeping some of the smoke at bay and pushing it back a little bit, so that is good. As we take a look at temperatures across the province, we do have some temperatures in and around 30 or above. Grand Prairie's at 30, Jasper 31 in the south, Medicine Hat 32, Lethbridge 30. Most places are in the high 20s. A little bit cooler, maybe a little bit more tolerable for Lloyd, Cold Lake, and Fort McMurray. They're all sitting at 26 degrees. Now, areas in the north still under an air quality warning. Fort McMurray and areas north, and there's a severe thunderstorm watch for high level in Peace River. Also between there is a severe thunderstorm warning. We're also seeing that north of high level. Unfortunately, the radar cuts out at that point, so we're not getting the best idea of what's happening north of high level, but south of there we are seeing some storm cells, and those are going to be pushing to the east. There they are right now, losing a little bit of their punch as they push to the east, but they still have the potential to drop off a lot of rain, some very strong winds, and some lightning associated with those. As we take a look at central areas, mostly clear. To the southeast, we are seeing some storms now southeast of Alliance and just north of Alliance. A little bit of lightning associated with that, but they don't look to be packing a whole lot of punch and are very short-lived. Those storms to the north, though, will pass eastward, north of Fort McMurray into the early morning hours, and then another batch tomorrow morning. Fort McMurray could see that as we head into the afternoon. For us, it's going to be a mix of sun and cloud as we go throughout tomorrow, but a little bit more activity in the northeastern reaches of the province. So we go throughout the evening, fairly clear, 23, 17 to start off tomorrow morning, a slight chance of fog in the morning, and then 30 for a high for tomorrow, becoming a little bit breezy. As we take a look at Friday, 31, a slight chance of thunderstorms late in the day, about a 30% chance. Keep an eye on that, but a better chance Saturday, mid and late day of seeing some thunderstorms. So better chance on Saturday of adding to our rainfall totals. Sunday, Monday, highs of 25, your 10-day forecast. As we go throughout the rest of next week, temperatures in the mid to getting in towards the high 20s once again.
Thank you, Corey. Still ahead, friendly fire in Donald Trump's trade war.
Donald Trump dug up a zombie law to make things even more expensive for Americans.
Trump's top trade representative facing tough questions from U.S. lawmakers following a new round of tariffs on Canadian goods. And
they were concerned about seeing these diseased fish with these, inky black tumors.
Contagious cancer in catfish. Stay with us.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
U.S. President Donald Trump's controversial trade policy is under scrutiny as his top trade representative faces a Senate Finance Committee. Jameson Gregg was grilled on the policy as questions remain about the status of trade negotiations. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
Senator Wyden. The general in Donald Trump's trade war, Jameson Greer, was grilled on why he was using a 1930 law to put new 50% tariffs on Canada.
Nobody, not even Herbert Hoover, used this provision before, but Donald Trump dug up a zombie law to make things even more expensive for Americans.
The U.S. trade representative justified the actions.
We're fighting against a ban on American liquor on shelves. We're fighting against hard caps on export of American cars. So we've never banned Canadian products. We've never done that kind of thing, but we're fighting against caps on American cheese.
The senators responded with a barrage of examples of the pain Trump's policies were causing. They say last year, costs for the average American family went up by $1,700 and tourism plunged.
Number one, our tourism is down about 40%. A lot of that has to do with the rhetoric that the president has used, and I don't hold you responsible for that. But the 51st state, the governor of Canada, that rhetoric has really inhibited Canadians from coming down.
There's concern the White House has crossed the line with these new tariffs that impact an additional $28 billion worth of Canadian exports.
How are you approaching the risk of retaliatory tariffs from Canada?
I talked with my Canadian counterpart yesterday. They did not say they're going to retaliate.
The Trump administration continues to exempt Canadian energy from tariffs. That's also where they're the most vulnerable.
I mean, it's, the truth is, if Canada wanted to, you could shut down our electricity in New England and cripple oil and gas.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has not ruled out retaliation. The government is considering targeted action, especially in Republican states where seats are up for grabs in this year's U.S. midterm elections. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Smoke and heat warnings cover much of BC today, which is already battling about 90 wildfires. One of the most urgent is a new, rapidly growing fire in the Fraser Canyon.
Just swirling above me. Swirling.
Officials say the wind-fueled wildfire near Boston Bar poses a threat to life. It is part of a large wildfire complex already burning in the area. Anyone still in the community has been ordered to leave immediately as ground crews and helicopters work around the clock to contain the fires. A reception center for the displaced has been set up in Kamloops. The U.S. says it has reached a landmark nuclear power deal with Saudi Arabia. Ahead of the announcement, the U.S. Secretary of State had this to say.
Suffice it to say, the U.S. is not going to reach any agreement with any country in the world that leads to the risk of proliferation.
The U.S. Energy Department says the deal allows the kingdom to build nuclear reactors using American technology and to enrich uranium. It adds the two countries also signed an agreement on nuclear safeguards. The deal now goes to Congress, which has 90 days to raise objections, but it would need to have a two-thirds majority to block the deal. Ukrainian drones have struck warehouses belonging to Russia's largest online retailer for the second time. Eyewitness video shows a massive fire breaking out at the warehouse after officials said the logistics hub run by Wildberries was hit overnight, forcing employees to evacuate. The company, often described as Russia's Amazon, acts mainly as a marketplace connecting sellers with buyers, and the strikes have affected hundreds of small businesses that rely on the platform. A new set of graphic health warnings is coming to cigarette packages across Canada. The new designs highlight the health impacts of smoking for both smokers and those around them. The images are the fourth set of warnings mandated by Health Canada since 2000, aiming to reduce tobacco use to less than 5% by 2035. The updated messaging will be required on packaging by August the 1st.
Again, to reflect the higher feedstock prices associated with rising oil prices.
Trump's ongoing war with no end in sight has become a pain point for consumers.
It's very frustrating because, like, what's the deal? I mean, and I got to blame the orange clown in Washington.
It's kind of frustrating more so because you never know day to day what it's going to cost to go.
Something that's out of our control, but we really want prices to go down. You know, it's just gone insane.
In the latest budget tabled in February, the province's projected price for West Texas Intermediate was $60.50 US a barrel. It is set to unveil an updated forecast by the end of August. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Contract talks are back on between WestJet and the Flight Attendants Union. The two sides are meeting in Calgary. The union says WestJet's flight attendants are among the lowest paid. It says flight attendants each work up to 35 unpaid hours a month. The airline says its hourly wage is created to compensate every hour its flight attendants work. Last week, flight attendants voted overwhelmingly in favor of a strike. The earliest a strike could happen is August 2nd. Nav Canada says flight delays linked to air traffic control issues are way down compared to last year. The Air Navigation Corporation looked at the number of flights at 4 airports impacted last year by either its own staffing or its own equipment. From May through the beginning of July, there was a 91% drop in flight delays year over year. Nav Canada credits increased staffing and other parts of its operational readiness plan for the summer. The Louvre's Apollo Gallery has reopened to visitors for the first time since thieves stole $102 million worth of crown jewels from the museum. Visitors can once again walk through the Grand Gallery, taking in its gold-covered ceilings and Greek frescoes on the way to the Mona Lisa. They won't find any crown jewels. The remaining treasures have been removed as the museum restores the space to its original 17th century ceremonial purpose. Security has been upgraded since the heist last October. There are new cameras and anti-intrusion systems after thieves broke in through a window and made off with the jewels in less than 8 minutes. 9 months later, they are still missing. Still ahead, stranded beluga whales get a helping hand.
To finally see them
be able to swim and become mobile. It was amazing.
How conservation officers in Manitoba ensured a pod of mothers and calves could swim away safely.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV.
Six belugas from Marineland are now swimming in their new homes in the U.S. Marineland and a group of U.S. aquariums helped move the first batch of whales in a complex process that began Monday. Each whale had to be packed into a separate crate filled with water. They were then flown to their new home. The shuttered theme park made a deal with a number of U.S. aquariums and one in Spain to take its remaining whales. The belugas moved yesterday and are said to be settling in well so far. It's quite a different scene for a pod of beluga whales, including several calves who became stranded near Churchill, Manitoba. After the whales were discovered in shallow water, conservation officers managed to save the day. CTV's Alex Karpa reports.
Yeah, water is coming.
This video captures a rare sight. 7 beluga whales stranded in shallow water along the shores of Hudson Bay.
Splash the water on them and that baby start moving around.
Churchill's conservation received a report of a white object in the water covered by seagulls. Owen Jones went to investigate and found 3 adult belugas and 4 calves stranded by low tides.
They were in distress. I could hear the young calves crying out.
The whales were just 60 meters offshore in shallow 1.5-meter water. Jones and Vitaly Skrinik stayed with them for hours, protecting them from polar bears.
They splashed each and every animal with the water.
Skrinik says the whales were relatively unharmed besides the injuries from the seagulls pecking them. After a couple of hours, the ordeal was over as the tide rose and the whales swam to safety.
To finally see them be able to swim and become mobile, it was amazing.
Around 55,000 beluga whales gather in the western Hudson Bay throughout the summer months. Marine expert Emma Austin says she's never seen or heard of a situation like this before in central Arctic Canada.
Belugas are known to get closer to the shore to escape predators like killer whales, but it could be that they were potentially on the shore trying to rub up against the bottom for their seasonal molting and they just got trapped or confused.
Both Skrinik and Jones haven't been stationed in Churchill for long, but they say this rescue is already an event they'll never forget.
Now I know if I'm going to be asked officer, what was your best story during your line of duty? Like 100% it's his whales.
Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
All right, let's hear some more about that heat. I'm looking forward to it.
Feeling it already. 29 right now here in the city. And as we go throughout the next few days, could be a little bit warmer, possibly 34 tomorrow, maybe even 31 on Friday. So the heat has been pumping into our region. And the good thing is we've seen some clearing as far as the smoke is concerned. So a little bit of a blue sky over the city right now, which is good. Tomorrow, slight risk of fog in the morning, becoming a little bit breezy, 31 on Friday, and then Saturday, that's the day to watch out for because we'll be warm, but there's also the risk of thunderstorms, about a 40% chance mid-late day, and we've been seeing what's been happening with those. So we'll keep
yes,
an eye
we
on
have,
Saturday.
over and over and over.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Corey, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Have a great night, everyone.